at the Sheffield Arena for the final time of the season. It's the playoffs. It's the Sheffield Steelers taking on the Cardiff Devils. The Sheffield Steelers have knocked the Cardiff Devils out of the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. Mind you, that was in the playoff finals at the NIC in Nottingham. Could this be third time lucky for Gerard Adams' team? Well, it certainly could be. The Cardiff Devils hold the advantage after the first leg, beating the Sheffield Steelers by 4-2. Could have been worse for David Matsos's team, though. 4-1 they trailed with a minute left. Jeff Le Guy scored the all-important goal that could just give the Sheffield Steelers light at the end of the tunnel. Joining me, Rick Strachan, and Strax, that late goal by Jeff Le Guy has certainly given the Sheffield Steelers hope, because 4-1, I think that might have been a tough ask.
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge goal. And now the Sheffield Steelers got to build on that. We're going to talk about the all-important first goal once again. And, you know, it's up for Sheffield at home to score the next goal to put a lot of pressure on Cardiff. If Cardiff score the next one, you know, they're going to have to score 4 goals to win. I don't think they can do it.
The Cardiff Devils are always tough at home, aren't they? And they played with intensity and presence against the Sheffield Steelers. We were speaking to David Matsos earlier, and Matty was saying to us that he didn't feel his team were really into the game. He was disappointed. If the Steelers can't get a pulse and a heartbeat for a playoff game in Cardiff, when can they?
It's 2 games to go to the final. That's all it is. And for whatever reason, you know, Dave said his team didn't play as well as it could. It didn't compete as hard as they should have. You know, tonight, well, you know what? They should have went in there last night and gave it everything they had, knowing that the Cardiff Devils was probably the worst road team in hockey.
The Sheffield Steelers are reliant upon their big guns, Le Guy and Tall, but Jeff Le Guy has to turn up the heat tonight. He scored the all-important goal for 4-2 on Saturday night, but Le Guy's the stud, he's the star, he's the linchpin of the Sheffield Steelers team. If he doesn't score tonight, the Sheffield Steelers can really dust off the golf clubs, can't they?
Well, they definitely can. He's a man that he leads his team. He's a straw that stirs the drink here. He leads by example. When he's scoring, the rest, you know, Talbot will score some goals, and then they need some secondary scoring. They need him to score goals tonight.
Folks, remember that one, the straw that stirs the drink. I'm going to remember that one all summer. Good line, Rick. Let's talk about the other playoff series. The Edinburgh Capitals came back from 4-2 down to tie 4-4 with the Nottingham Panthers. Have they got a chance tonight at the NIC?
Well, I think that was a good showing for Edinburgh. You know, they battled hard for 60 minutes, came back. The Nottingham Panthers are just too strong at home. I expect them to win by 3 or 4.
And despite being injured, the Coventry Blaze, the first-place team, they did beat out the Hull Stingrays in their first playoff game. 2-1 there. Have Hull got a chance? Can they come back?
Anybody's got a chance. Of course, you know, they're going to be unhappy that they would have wanted to at least to win by, you know, 1 goal and at least have a bit of a cushion going into Coventry. Coventry's too strong, been there before. I expect them to, you know, to dust off the Stingrays tonight.
Now, the Belfast Giants haven't taken a point in Whitley Bay yet this year in league play, but they do take a 4-1 advantage in. If there is one tie that does look done and dusted, it could well be that one.
Yeah, if there was one series, you know, I would bet on before, it would be that Belfast would knock out Newcastle. And Belfast is just too strong for Newcastle. I expect them to go in there and have a tie or lose by 1, but they'll go through in the series.
Shall we confirm those scores for you? Let's take a look at them once again. The Sheffield Steelers going down in Cardiff by 4-2. The Belfast Giants 4-1 victorious over the Newcastle Vipers. Hull Stingrays 1, the Coventry Blaze 2. And the Edinburgh Capitals 4, the Nottingham Panthers 4. Now, we were talking about the 2 coaches. We spoke to Gerard Adams, we spoke to David Matsos, and when we were doing that, the 2 teams, they play like a little keep-me-up football game here. The Cardiff Devils look very loose, very relaxed. And I said to you, is that a good sign, Strax? And you said a very good sign. Explain.
It's a good sign. They went out, they know what they have to do, they're relaxed. They were having fun. They were focused. They're all. The whole team was out here. That's the main thing. Every single player was out there playing football. They were focused. They were relaxed. They were having a laugh. They know what they have to do, and they're going to go out there and do it tonight.
Well, as I say, we spoke to the 2 head coaches, Gerard Adams, the top man with the Cardiff Devils, but before that, the Steelers head coach, David Matsos. Dave, you were disappointed last night after the 4-2 loss down in Cardiff, so much so that you brought your team in early today to show them some video. What was said by you?
It's just a lot of things had to be addressed. I mean, you get into a weekend with this sort of format, and you expect, you know, 60 minutes of relentless hockey on the road, and it just didn't happen. You know, we need our big guys to show up tonight and outplay their big guys. Our secondary units have to outplay their secondary units, and, you know, goaltending is obviously a big one, but there was way too much video for my liking this time of year, but you know, I wasn't gonna unturn any stones coming into tonight, because this 60 minutes decides, the fate of us.
Video doesn't lie, does it?
No, it doesn't. No, it's such a valuable tool, and sometimes players seem to see things in a different way, but when the video comes up, the video doesn't lie. And I think a lot of times we've done it. Things like this have actually turned out in a positive manner, and I hope that they learn from their mistakes last night, and they just need to come out and perform.
You talk about your big guns having to outperform Cardiff's big guns. Jeff Le Guy, he scored a vitally important goal last night. You're 4-1 down, a couple of minutes left. That 4-2 goal, though, has given you a bit more than light at the end of the tunnel.
I think so. Deflated. I know that they can come out 2 up, and they'll accept that. But from our standpoint, 2 back is better than 3. In a tough arena to play in Cardiff. But notwithstanding that, the success of us tonight will not happen if our guys aren't going 100 miles an hour, body checks, finishing checks, keeping plays at a high risk areas, and more importantly, we got to penetrate the paint where Stevie Lyle is.
Jared, a good performance by the Devils last night. You come up here 2 goals ahead, so you must be satisfied with half the job done.
I'd say happy, not satisfied. I thought it was a pretty good game last night. I thought there was a number of chances both ways, and we just had a little bit of puck luck last night. So it should be another great matchup tonight. And this series is just all about rolling the dice. I think it's really evenly matched amongst both teams.
You've got some big game characters, haven't you? And they certainly turned up last night. Smith and Brabia played better, and Voth and Finnerty and Michel. It's relentless what you can throw at teams.
Yeah, I mean, we had a chat during the Challenge Cup, and there's no question that Mark Smith and Max Beardby are the key to our hockey team when they're playing well, and when they're producing points. We're winning. So again, I think those are the two main guys of the whole game.
Playoffs is about going through the wall. When you go into that dressing room, have you got a team that you think, yes, I'm comfortable with this team? It's ready to die for me.
Yeah, I think it is. I think picking up Ryan Finnerty was a huge asset for the club. He's been through it all, and he's a good leader on that thing. And really quiet. It's quiet confidence right now, but everybody's really upbeat for the win.
Sheffield have to come out hard, don't they? Certainly first 10-15 minutes. Is that the key for you, weathering that early storm?
Yeah, I think it's just weathering the storm, and it's just us about being efficient early, just moving the puck, tape-to-tape passes, and just allow them to chase us. The more they chase, the more the game will open up, and it's just one thing we need to capitalize on an early chance.
Sheffield have knocked Cardiff out of the playoffs in the last 2 years. Is this 3rd time lucky?
Thanks for that stat, David, but we'll try to get a change on that one tonight.
Our ones to watch tonight, Ryan Finnerty, the man that led the Sheffield Steelers to 2 playoff championships in the last 2 years. That's why he was signed by the Cardiff Devils, Rick.
He was signed for the Cardiff Devils because he is a playoff competitor and a playoff warrior, and he comes up with huge goals when it counts, and every year he's got into a final or playoff, he's scored, leads the team.
He scored the 4th goal last night for the Cardiff Devils. Where did he score it? In the crease line on top of the goal. He goes into those dirty areas. Not the biggest of players, but the biggest of hearts.
To win hockey games, you got to win the battles in the trenches, and no better guy than Ryan Finnerty. He's going to go to the net hard every time.
Let's take a look at the Sheffield Steelers one to watch. We talked about him earlier. Jeff Le Guy, when we brought the cameras down to the arena at the beginning of the year, Rick, Le Guy was on fire. He was all things to all people. He's got to be that player again tonight.
He has to for the Sheffield Steelers. He's their leading point getter, and he's got to produce points tonight. He's got to make the players around him better, and they're going to have to play him 35-40 minutes tonight. If
you were the coach of the Sheffield Steelers, would you be saying to Jeff Le Guy, you are our #1 guy? We will not win tonight unless you score goals. You have to do it. Do you have to put pressure on a guy like that?
I think he's the type of guy that can handle that type of pressure. Before the game, I'd be saying, listen, Jeff, you're going to go every second shift. We need you to be the best player on the ice.
Okay. Le Guy, of course, plays with Talbot and Phillips. That line was pretty anonymous in Cardiff on Saturday night, but that line has to be, of course, with David Matzos being the home coach, he can get that line out against the weaker Cardiff lines. Cardiff had a chance to match against them last night. They won't be able to do that this evening.
No, Dave Matzos has got to get that line out against the line. He think they can dominate, and he's got the last change, and he's got to use that to his advantage.
When we were having a chat, folks, with David Matzos, I pointed out to him, would it be a good idea to perhaps get Mike Scroy just to go after Brad Voth? And Matty suggested to us that he thought that Voth didn't want to get involved in that. Not from a physicality point of view, he just didn't think it was going to be good for his team. And then Sheffield would take a penalty. We still think it's a good way to get the crowd going, get the team going. Voth, Scroy, is that something that could happen tonight?
It won't happen. There's no way Brad Voth's going to fight Mike Scroy. Brad Voth, is too valuable on the ice. Mike Scroy can do his part by every time he's out there, challenge him, make it known to the crowd that, hey, listen, you're not going to fight me. Get the crowd on your side. Use them to your advantage. Just let them know that, you know what, I want to fight you, but Voth won't. And then, you know, the fans will get going and get everyone pumped up.
Coming to the end of our little piece here, and we haven't talked about goaltending, and normally playoffs is about goaltending. Just a quick word on Werner and Lyle.
Both solid goaltenders, and tonight, you know, goaltending is going to be huge. Werner's got to control his rebounds, and Lyle's going to have to make the saves and early.
Okay, and a quick prediction from you?
Sheffield will win the game, but I don't think they'll win by enough to go through.
Have I just got one eye here, or rose-tinted glasses? Sheffield to win the game and to go through to take on Coventry in the afternoon semi-final. How about that? Well, those people sit there, they're ready, they're waiting. It's the Steelers and the Cardiff Devils. It's the second leg with the Devils leading 4-2. First period comes, though, after this break. Well, he's clapping, he's cheering, he's got desire, he's got hope. Rick Strack and the Sheffield Steelers, a huge 10 minutes in this first period for them to get back into this tie.
They got to get a relentless forecheck going. They got to get pucks in behind the Cardiff defenseman. They got to get the cycle going, and they got to make Cardiff take penalties.
Let's take a look at the two-team lineups. We'll start off with the Cardiff Devils. Defensively, they're big and they're strong. And Wes Jarvis has had a career year.
Led by, you know, first-team All-Star Wes Jarvis, 20 goals, big, mobile, controls the power play.
And up front, of course, an abundance of talent. We normally speak of Smith and Brabea, but tonight you have a feeling it could be that line of Finnerty, Voth and Miller.
Yeah, Finnerty, big game player. Vother, presence to be known. Miller takes the puck better than anyone in the league.
The Sheffield Steelers trail by 2. They can't afford to concede many tonight. Andrew Werner has to be on his game.
Yeah, it's key that he comes up with big saves early, giving his the team a chance to win.
Well, defensively, the Sheffield Steelers have the bodies back there. Up front, they've got to find some scoring. Legui and Talbot really are the two you just look to again.
Well, those are the two main guys for the Sheffield Steelers all year. They're going to have to come up big tonight, but they're also going to have to have some secondary scoring from Phillips, Hewitt, Bauer, Shepard, Dowd. Any of those guys got to come in and get some goals tonight.
Well, folks, here we go. 4-2, the Cardiff Devils lead the Sheffield Steelers after that first leg in Cardiff. And Brabea with Smith and Jay Latulip. And they've kept that line together, Jared Adams, hasn't he? Latulip's played well on it, and Brabea and Smith now not solely reliant upon each other. Latulip is a good foil.
Yeah, he's got great vision, good passing.
Dagenet in a little bit of a foot race there with Max Brabea. Werner came out of his goal and leaves it to Jonathan Zion. He's had a quiet couple of weeks after a really impressive spell. Legui with a back pass to Zion. Zion quick hands to Talbot. Talbot hits the red line looking for Legui. Puck goes all the way to Lyle, who just moves the puck outwards, and Zion will collect again. And the Sheffield Steelers come forward, joining us for the first time. Steelers in the white and orange kit, black and red for the Cardiff Devils. Still Zion, and he got the shot away. Is there going to be a chance for Bollebrook, who gets the puck in deep? Early pressure by the Sheffield Steelers, Rick.
Yeah, they come out, you know, right now they're moving their feet, they're making things happen, forechecking very aggressively.
First hit of the night is Doug Shepard, whose line with Hewitt and Farmer was probably the Sheffield Steelers' best line on the first leg, and that tells you something. Shepard, Farmer, Hewitt shouldn't be the Sheffield Steelers' best line, should it?
No, if you're going to win hockey games, your best line's got to be the guys you pay all the money to.
Well, Shepard, they're doing great work. Here's Voth, and a big hit from Voth on Hewitt. Massive hit from Voth on Hewitt. And a fair hit as well. I mean, both guys went in there hard and tough, and just physical size presence by Voth.
Well, I think Hewitt was trying to lay the big hit on Voth, and Voth saw him at the last second, braced himself, and sent Hewitt flying.
You wouldn't like to be on the end of one of those, would you? Bassick has got his defensive partner, Randy Dagenet. Randy Dagenet playing his last game at the Sheffield Arena. He retires at the end of this season. And if the Sheffield Steelers go down tonight, there could well be a fair few players playing their very last game for the Sheffield Steelers. Randy Dagenet. Rink wide pass. Quick hands as they try and find Dowd intercepted by the Devils. Dagenet comes in with a big hit on Ronfo. It's Brabir now chasing Bassick and he finishes. And the first penalty of the night comes in, and it looks like an elbows call on Dagenet.
Right there, it's retaliation. There's a collision in front of the bench, and then all of a sudden Dagenet, I don't know, it was another player just coming on the ice for a change, and he gave him the big elbow right in the chin. Sheffield's showing some emotion out there, throwing their bodies around. They have to. They have to play with emotion tonight.
Richardson, the captain of the Cardiff Devils, taken over from Brad Voth, gives it Smith, goes rink wide. Hartwig hammers in off the side of the net. Werner gets there first. Penalty kills and power plays, so important, special teams at any time of the year, especially in the playoffs. Brabir. Voth plants himself right out in front. But comes through, goal, redirect in front. Power play goal, Voth was in front, did he get a touch on it? Or did the shot go all the way through? The Cardiff Devils expand their lead. They lead 1-0 on the night. They now lead 5-2. What a start, the perfect start for the Cardiff Devils.
It all starts with a retaliation penalty by Dagenet. And then right here, Richardson and Finnerty will work in the puck. Right? Finnerty shoots the puck, Voss in front. We talk about big-time players. There's Finnerty, either got the goal or assist right there.
Well, Ryan Finnerty shoots and scores against Andrew Werner. Second goal of the series for Finnerty. We'll wait to see if he's accredited with that goal.
Now we got the referee.
Yeah, 61, Ryan Finnerty accredited with the goal.
There you go. Net presence, big Voth in front of the net, screening the goalie. And now we got Carson having words with the coach of the Sheffield Steelers, Dave Matsos, and I'm sure he's saying that Voth was in the crease.
Hewitt in the face-off circle, 1-0 down in the third minute. Not the start the Sheffield Steelers wanted. It was critical that they scored that first goal. They didn't get it. Hewitt comes with a bit of pressure, and there's a penalty and a high stick call. And it's against Robert Farmer, is it? It is. It's Farmer that will be heading off to the penalty box. Early penalty trouble for the Sheffield Steelers. Second power play of the night for the Cardiff Devils. They already scored on their first one.
Right there. You can't. He cross-checked him right in the face, and Carson's right there, and he's going to put him in the box. And you're right. This isn't the start the Sheffield Steelers wanted.
We've talked about Sheffield showing emotion, showing some passion, and maybe they've just gone a little bit over the top with that, a little exuberance.
Controlled emotion, controlled right there. You know, you're going to finish your checks, but you got to, right there, 2 silly penalties, just being over-aggressive.
Well, we're 3 minutes into this game, and if the Cardiff Devils score here, it could be tie over, and they'll be planning their Saturday afternoon game at the NIC. But the Sheffield Steelers have got a good penalty kill, the best in the league, as Richardson gets it across. The one-timer from Mark Smith. Got that left-handed shot, scored a goal very similar to that in the first leg in Cardiff. That was a 5-on-3 power play goal. Kevin Bollebrook has the puck, given back to him by Shepherd. And now Dagenet moves the puck forward to Jonathan Phillips. Just signed a new contract with the Sheffield Steelers last week. The Steelers captain, Hewitt, comes with speed. Over the blue line, top of the circle, takes a shot. Kicked away by Stevie Lyle quite comfortably, and 40 seconds already gone in the second power play of the night for the Cardiff Devils. The Devils come intercepted by Hewitt. Hewitt's got to get it deep, has he? He goes on a little bit of a Sunday afternoon skate. Leaves it for Bollebrook. Short-handed Bollebrook takes a shot. Lyle covers up and moves the puck quickly, but Andy Carson had already blown his whistle. Better from the Sheffield Steelers.
Yeah, it's the way better penalty kill right there. They could actually control most of the possession of the puck, and had a couple quick shots on goal that Stevie Lyle made routine saves on.
Well, Jared Adams will be the happier of the two coaches. His team have come out, scored a power play goal, and have just taken that edge that the Sheffield Steelers were hoping to have early doors. 1-0 the Devils lead. Still 50 seconds left on the power play for the Welsh side, who come with Jarvis, who made the Writers Association All-Star team in the week. Congratulations to him. Puck out, here comes Le Guy, the man we talked about, and Le Guy with great hands and good speed. Talbot goes to the far post, still with Jeff Le Guy. Steelers still short-handed, and that's why they come back. 30 seconds left on the kill, and Sheffield send it 200 feet for Hartwick to go and get it. Shepherd comes hard in on him, and now it's a time of Tyler Michelle to Brad Voth. Voth gets the puck out to Finnerty, the scorer. Finnerty manhandled by Thomas. Finnerty picks the puck up. Finnerty gets the puck back. Shot from Hartwick. There's a rebound. No, there's no rebound. Covered up well by Andrew Werner. And Brad Voth, it's like there's a magnet in the Cardiff Devils kit, and it drives that first forward towards the goal. They just drive the net better than any other team.
They do, and it's all about net pressure.
Well, first goal was always going to be important here. The Cardiff Devils have got it. They lead the Steelers by 1-0 as we hit the 5-minute mark in this first period. Cardiff can't clear though, and here is Bauer just out in front, and a penalty, and the third penalty of the night against the Sheffield Steelers, and this time it's going to be Matt Bauer for a slash. Or is it Dowd? It's Dowd on a slash, and Scroy goes to have a look at Brad Voth, and nothing going there.
And you know what, there's been several Steelers that took 3 penalties this period. A neutral zone penalty, 2 offensive zone penalties. If you want to have any chance of winning tonight, guys, controlled aggression, slashing and cross-checking ain't what you got to do. Move your feet and finish your checks.
Robert Dowd takes a 2-minute minor penalty for slashing. Third power play for the Cardiff Devils. Face-off, of course, in the offensive zone, as the new rule always is now. Face-off win for the Sheffield Steelers. Le Guy, Finnerty gets it back, and the puck with Mark Richardson. Le Guy gives Richardson a bit of a slash, and then jumps and pounces on a loose puck and tries to dance around Finnerty. Finnerty gets it back. Bollebrook just cross-checks Finnerty in the back. Back come the Cardiff Devils. It's with Mark Smith. Talbot goes across. Smith walks out of the corner. Still Smith. Tries to get it to Voth. Le Guy, Sonclos, and then clears the puck 200 feet. Le Guy does look on the money, doesn't he? Le Guy looks to play him with some intensity, but here's Smith coming the other way. Drop hands, pass to Finnerty. Looking for the man at the back door. Big chance, Max Brabea. And half the goal to shoot at, and it just never fell nicely for him. Now the Sheffield Steelers, if the puck falls with them, it's going to be with their captain, Phillips. Has got Hewitt just ahead of him. Still Phillips. Takes a shot, glove saved by Stevie Lyle. Phillips went short side. Lyle gave him the glove.
Sheffield's doing a very good job killing this penalty. They're really aggressive all over the ice, creating turnovers, and they're not afraid right now.
Face-off win, Finnerty. Puck comes back one time, and Richardson takes a shot just wide of the goal of Werner. Brabea picks up on a loose puck as Bassick got across to him. Bollebrook just waited a second, and it comes back to Bassick, who fires it 200 feet all the way down to Stevie Lyle. 40 seconds expired on the 4th power play of this first period to the Cardiff Devils. Every time we look at it, we see Ryan Finnerty on the ice. Jared Adams knows this is a night for him, and he's just getting him out there as often as he can.
Big game player who wants to come back into this building and beat the team that didn't want him.
Here come the Devils with Brabea. There's 3,500 people in the arena who did want him. Big hit comes in this time. Oh, and the shoulder's gone. Voth's been hit, and the player that's hit Voth, and I think it's Dagenais. Dagenais gone down. And Dagenais hit Voth there, and I think he's put his shoulder out in doing so.
Yeah, we're going to have to see the replay. I missed that, but it was a big collision, and you know, Randy Dagenais's gone down in a heap. Oh, yeah, right there. He rocked Voth. Voth took the hit, but he went down and hurt himself. I think he knocked the wind out of himself. That's about it. Yeah, he's just knocked the wind out.
Voth with 40 seconds left on the power play. Finnerty tries to get it back to the big Vothmeister. Voth gets it back. Smith wants it at the top. And here it is, it's Mark Smith, top of the circle, rips it, save, rebound, and it's away. Can Finnerty get there before Lyle? Lyle comes out of his goal and plays it. Well played, Stevie Lyle. Here's the Devils, they come the other end. Brabea, and offside is called. And back they come, 19 seconds, a half chance there. Le Guy, the quickest of skaters, but Lyle spotted it well.
Yeah, great move by Brabea to Smith, and a hard shot. What happens is that everybody, all the Devils have collapsed, and then the rebound goes up by them all, and there's Le Guy, he's off to the races, but Lyle does a good job of reading that and come under that net.
So Andrew Werner almost pulled off that miracle last year with Newcastle taking them to the Final Four. Not quite. Is he going to make the Final Four this year with the Sheffield Steelers? Well, Sheffield have got to score at least 3 more goals in the next 50 minutes to take this one to overtime. Romfo hits the blue line. Bolingbroke comes across. Toe's going to hit Bolingbroke in the corner as the Sheffield Steelers are back to full strength. The Bauer stayed out and stayed high, hoping Sheffield would gain puck possession. Bolingbroke finishes. Back to Phil Hill. And it is Mark Thomas who's out there for another shift as Dagenet not back on the ice. Sheffield will try and come down the right-hand side. Instead, the Devils get the puck in deep. And the puck with Mark Thomas. Thomas brings it out as far as Habauer. Habauer over the red, over the blue, cuts to the middle. Needs some support, but there's been a Steelers line change, so he's had to go on to Torval and Dean. Le Gouy gets the puck round to his line mate, Joe Talbot. Talbot pass out to Phillips, takes a shot, rebound. Can Le Gouy get it? Le Gouy being manhandled by Hartwick, who hasn't got a stick. No penalty called. Zion behind his goal, gets hit hard by Romfo, Talbot, but Steelers with 3 men down. Shot comes in from the outside, there's a chance, Jonathan Phillips, chance Le Gouy, Phillips is battling in there as well. Miller comes in and Stevie Lyle covers up.
That's a better shift by Sheffield. Moving their feet. That's what they do best. Move their feet, cycle the puck. Finally, they get the puck out to the top. Okay? And a quick, hard shot. But look at their players. You got to battle hard in front of the net than that. You got to get 2 hands on your stick and start whacking and hacking.
Yeah, kind of waiting for it to drop to them, weren't they?
Yeah, they're all standing on the perimeter waiting for the puck to come to them. You got to go to the puck right there. Make it happen.
The Cardiff Devils' 4th goal on Saturday night was just like that. Finnerty drove the net, Voth drove the net, and they would like just dig in for gold, and eventually you do find something. Yeah, you dig deep enough, you find something.
Well, if you dig hard enough, you'll get something. Right there, you had 3 Sheffield Steeler players standing around the outside of the blue paint waiting for the puck to come to them.
Basic's going to finish on Latulip, but the puck is already in the offensive zone with Smith. Smith, nice quick hands, and Smith looks at the races here. Second game of this 2-game series between the Devils and the Steelers. Cardiff winning 4-2 in Cardiff on Saturday night. A packed house in Cardiff, great atmosphere. 4-1 they led until the final minute, and Jeff Le Gouy pulled one back for the Sheffield Steelers. But Cardiff scoring early through Ryan Finnerty, the former Sheffield Steelers double winning hero, has just put a dagger in their hearts as Finnerty moves the puck forward. Gets turned over by Latulip. Gives it back to Michel, who rips one. Shot from the outside comes just off the side. And the whistle blows. And it's a little stop-start as well. That'll suit Cardiff.
Oh, yeah, they're going to play a smart road game. And, you know, if they can put pressure, they will. They'll send 2 guys. But if they don't think they can get the puck, they're going to send 1 guy. They're going to leave 4 in the neutral zone. And hopefully they can get a turnover and slow Sheffield down.
Matsos patrols his bench. Le Gouy checks his stick. And out in front you got Habauer and Toe. Toe, of course, Sheffield born. Played a few games with the Sheffield Steelers in his time. Season with the Scimitars in the EPL. Habauer. But in control, the Cardiff Devils in this game and in this tie. Are they going to the finals for another year? They always end up in the Final Four, the Cardiff Devils. They're the team nobody wants to play in the quarter-final stages. Sheffield have knocked them out of the playoffs in the last 2 years. Of course, Sheffield have gone on to win the playoff championship. And with David Matsos, you either make the Final Four and win it, or don't make it at all, Rick.
Well, that looks like that, right? His first year as a coach, he didn't make it. His second and third year, he went there.
Zion scores! Oh, my word! End-to-end goal by Jonathan Zion. Wow, Rick, I don't think he goes end-to-end. I was looking at the monitor, looking at the screen, thinking he's going to pass it in a minute, but all of a sudden he puts the Sheffield Steelers back in it, and 12:30 into this first period, Zion ties it at 1 each.
Yeah, right here, just walks around the defenseman, they walks right into the high slot here, and just a quick, hard shot goes right through the 5-hole. Stevie Lyle, wishing he had that one back.
And, well, we're back to where we started, 1-1, 5-3 on aggregate. And the Sheffield Steelers, will that give them a little bit of jump and emotion. Dagenet back on the ice. Richardson behind the goal of Stevie Lyle. Hit from Phillips on Richardson, but here come the Devils with Voth. Tries to get Voth, his pass has put his team offside. It's Miller who's offside, but the Sheffield Steelers will come forward with a quick pass from Legui to Phillips. Top of the circle, takes a shot. Lyle makes a save. Then Legui finishes a hit himself. This time on Miller. Here's Finnerty. Finnerty just gets run over by Bollebrook. Then it's the turn of Voth and Bassick to clash. And there's a penalty coming in. And then there's another fist thrown. And Bassick and Jonathan Phillips on Ryan Finnerty. And Andy Carson has called a penalty. And it's an interference call. And it's going against the Cardiff Devils. A slash, is it?
I think it's a slash. I think Andy just gave, yeah, there it is.
Slash.
The slash call, and I think that's going to Ryan Finnerty. Right here, it's a big collision by two guys. And there's Finnerty getting involved like he always likes to, and you know, he's going to take, he's a little play acting there. He says he's trying to get him to take a penalty.
So Ryan Finnerty, who sat in the penalty box of the Sheffield Arena on both sides on a number of occasions. But if you've got a team for the playoffs, you want him in your team, don't you?
You gotta have him. He's a gamer. He just comes up huge when in the games where you need someone to step up and be the hero. He likes to be that hero.
Sheffield on the power play. Bassick takes a shot. It's a loose pass, and the shot just goes round the far post. Lyle couldn't control the rebound. Bassick again. Chance out in front. Shot from the outside. It was Dowd. Lyle's covered up the second time. Big chance for the Sheffield Steelers. I tell you what, those in front of us, Rick thought he had found the back of the net, and I wasn't far behind them.
Right here, it's just a rebound, and it was Bauer walks in, he's on his backhand, he just can't get it in the open net. Right here, a good hard shot, and then I think Stevie Lyle gets his leg out there, and the puck goes wide.
Robert Dowd. Face-off win, comes back to the top with Bassick. To Dowd, top of the circle, rips one, lines one, second shot goes into the glove of Lyle. Phillips is in front, Hill's involved as well. Dagenet all of a sudden has found his breath again.
That's better for the Steelers. Get in front of the net, hack, whack, make things happen, and right here, there is a hard shot, and then the puck, there's a scramble, and I'll get there. That's it, give him a cross-check in the back and a face wash.
It's the playoffs. Pretty much anything can go.
Hey, it's a time of year where you can go in front of that net and just hack and whack it, you know, chop guys down by the ankles.
The Scroy, Talbot, Shepherd, Legui, Zion line will stay out there. Pretty talented line. But the Cardiff Devils it is that clear 200 feet back down behind Andrew Werner's goal. 1 minute expired on the 2-minute power play for the Cardiff Devils. Sheffield's first power play of the night, the second leg quarter-final, of the 2010 playoffs. Doug Shepherd puts the brakes on. Shepherd, of course, who scored a game winner. They got one, in fact, 2 game winners against the Cardiff Devils in the 2 semi-finals that the Sheffield Steelers have beaten the Devils in the last couple of years. A big game player himself. Shepherd will have to go digging again here tonight. 5:17 remain in the first period. Cardiff clear. Sheffield haven't really had a chance, and a penalty against the Sheffield Steelers, a roughing call. And you can't help but just think the Sheffield Steelers are doing their level best not to win this game. They've taken 4 early penalties, and now they've just taken a 5th.
5 minor penalties in the first period of a game. You're not giving yourself a good chance to win right here, and you know it's another silly roughing call in the neutral zone.
Was it when they came back to the bench?
Yeah, it's coming. Something happened at the bench there, and Joey Talbot, I think took the penalty. Is a rough, yeah.
Now Legui.
Legui, you know, what's he doing taking a roughing penalty in the neutral zone?
Well, Legui takes that roughing minor, the 5th minor penalty for the Sheffield Steelers. 4-on-4 for the next 29 seconds. Face-off win by Bauer. Bassick gets the puck round to Dagenet, who will finish on Brabia, but it's back with Smith. Back to Brabia. And Steelers managed to kick the puck through the neutral zone. Jarvis. The most offensive of defensemen. Here comes a Bauer. Smith just in front of him. Bauer, it's Brabia. Bollebrook takes Brabia down. Smith comes in. Smith looks on the game. Looks more at the races than we've seen it for a while. Cardiff are back to full strength as Dowd dances around Finnerty. Still Dowd. The Steelers are now short-handed, remember. and Dowd and Bauer out on the ice. They'll probably look for a change. Dowd certainly is. As Phil Hill brings the puck over the blue line on the power play to Jarvis. Takes a shot, glove saved by Andrew Werner.
It's a great job by Phil Hill, just coming over the blue line, delaying, waiting for help to come, and Jarvis jumps into the hole right here, and he just walks in, and he's got a quick, hard shot, and he lets it go, and Werner makes an easy save.
Kevin Bollebrook, who won a double with the Sheffield Steelers, league and playoffs back in 2004 before he went on his European holiday. Dowd, who does look at the races as he brings the puck over the red line and chips into the opposite corner for Scroy to go and get it, and Scroy just misses on his hit on Hartwick. Steelers get taken down. No penalty call. Well, there is a penalty coming in. So the Sheffield Steelers will go on the power play. The Bauer got taken down. And the Cardiff Devils will end up in the penalty box. Is it young Matt Toe?
Yeah, young Matt Toe, he's going to get called for a trip in the neutral zone on Bauer right here, and he just carries his stick and whacks him in the back of the skates, and down he goes. So, you know, it's kind of a silly penalty for him to take.
Well, the Sheffield Steelers go on their second power play of this first period. 2:28 remaining in the period, 2 minutes on the power play. Momentum changing moment.
It is a momentum changing moment. And before the game we were talking, and I said the key for Cardiff is to stay out of the penalty box. Sheffield's got a great power play. Cardiff has a tendency to take some penalties, and if they stay out of the penalty box, they got a way better chance of winning this game.
Well, Miller tried to get a short-handed breakaway there and did a great job, and he might have another go as he comes down the left-hand side, and Talbot is the man that cuts across to him. Talbot finishes in the corner. Zion's coming out to help. 3 Sheffield Steelers digging with 2 Cardiff Devils. One of them is Finnerty, and Finnerty does a good job as Talbot brings the puck out to Doug Shepherd. Shepherd carries. He's got Scroy one way. They try and find Zion, but it, in fact, comes to Talbot. Back to Jonathan Zion, the Steelers goal scorer. To Shepherd. Scroy's right out there in front. A battle between Hartwick and Scroy. Chance for Legui maybe at the back door, but Miller did a good job covering and then chips 200 feet.
Sheffield's getting the puck into the offensive zone. They're getting it all set up. And what they're trying to do is trying to pass it through the box. They got to get it to the point. They got Scroy there and shoot it.
On Saturday night, Latulic went after Legui a couple of times. Exactly the same happening. Here is Talbot and Legui. And now a penalty's going to come, and it's going to be against Jeff Legui. That was after we saw Latulic and Legui clash, and Legui was frustrated, and as soon as Latulip's getting the diving penalty as well. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't understand that call.
I can't understand that call too, because Jeff Legui has got his stick hooked around his nose and pulls him down, and then he's going to give him a dive. Well, you know, it's one or the other. He hit him in the face with his stick.
You hate to say even up, but that's even up, isn't it? Because I think Andy, when he watches it again, would realise that Latulip should have gone the first time. He didn't call it, and then those two clash again, and it's the easy call, isn't it? Let's put them both in the box.
Yeah, we'll just even it up right here, and you know what? You'll get the high sticking, and you'll get the diving for making it worse than it really was.
And what that means, in essence, folks, is absolutely nothing. And the Sheffield Steelers will remain on the power play for another 52 seconds. So Latulip joins Matt Toe in the Cardiff Devils penalty box. So the Sheffield Steelers remain on the power play. 5-on-4 power play, still for the Steelers. Tyler Michelle does a great job there covering up. Here's Bassick, moves the puck forward to Phillips. Jonathan Phillips has got Dowd one way, still with the Steelers captain. The man who's lifted the Sheffield Steelers to 2 playoff championships in the last 2 years. 25 seconds left. Sheffield haven't had a quality chance yet, though, on this power play.
Oh, Cardiff's doing a good job of not letting them get set up, and they're being very aggressive. And once they turn the puck over, they just shoot it all the way down the ice.
Dowd gets the puck back to Randy Dagenais. Dagenais to Robert Dowd. Habauer in the middle. Bassick waiting for the one-timer. Hill just didn't get to him. 2-on-1 short-handed break. Dowd's got to get back quickly. He does. Miller takes a shot, got rebound. Miller's going to pick up the rebound first, or is Dowd going to get there? Dowd does a great job of getting there first. Cardiff Devils are back to full strength. Dowd can't control. Ronfo has it. Bangs one off the boards just by the penalty box. And here come the Cardiff Devils again. Sheffield crowd the neutral zone, and it's Zion, who does a good job down on the boards, but can't get the puck in deeper. It's collected again by Romfo. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. First period's over, folks, and the Cardiff Devils are a step closer to the semi-finals of the playoffs. Ryan Finnerty scoring the all-important first goal for the Devils, giving them a 3-goal advantage. That was before a solo effort from Jonathan Zion brought the results back to 1-1. Big hits came in. It's got to be a big hit if it rocks that fella, Brad Voth. He took the wind out of the Steelers defenseman Dagenet. Those fans are still on the edge of their seats. It's 1-1 here. More to come, end of the period. Welcome back to the second period. The story of the first is that Ryan Finnerty against his former team put the Devils 1 up, but a stunning individual effort from Jonathan Zion means we're tied at 1-1 at the end of the first period, and that means it's 5-3 to the Cardiff Devils on aggregate. And Brad Voth, well, he was involved in a couple of little incidents as well. Randy Dagenet took an injury on him. Rick, I went down to the Sheffield Steelers dressing room, and there's Doug Shepherd's fiancée. She's the one with the beer glass. But let's take a look at these Voth hits, Rick. I had a word with the Sheffield Steelers physio. There's the first hit, first of all, on Jason Hewitt. But Randy Dagenet took a big hit on him as well. And ribs is what the physio said. Randy had just lost his breath. It was a massive hit.
Oh, yeah, both of those huge collision with Brad Voth. If you're going to hit Brad Voth, you're going to pay the price as well.
Well, Finnerty back in his former home rink. He's doing his level best to spoil the party, and the Cardiff Devils leading still by 2 goals, but now they've only 2 periods left. Time clicking down, time running out for the Sheffield Steelers against Finnerty and Gerard Adams and the Cardiff Devils, as Cardiff will come down the right-hand side with Max Berbier, and Dagenet will try and finish. Bauer comes in, Berbier gets the puck back to Smith, intercepted though by Zion, who with quick hands feeds the Steelers captain Jonathan Phillips. Phillips cuts to the middle. Can he get a shot away? No, he can't. Well, kind of trickles towards Stevie Lyle. And a little bit of a clash between Phillips and Romfo. Now starts to involve a couple of others, and a bit more pushing and shoving, Rick.
Yeah, right there. It was just a weak shot on Lyle. He covers up, and then Jonathan Phillips decides he's going to give Romfo a little cross check in the back of the neck there, and of course all the players pile in. Here we go. There it is, a little shot to the back of the head, and of course everyone's going to come in and say push and a shove, and nothing else is going to make much of this.
Okay, then take us inside the 2 dressing rooms. Let's start off with Gerard Adams, the Cardiff Devils. What would he have been saying to his team at the end of 20 minutes?
He'd be really pleased. He's going, okay, guys, you know, we've stuck to our game plan. We're doing a great job. Move your feet, keep everything to the outside. And in the other room, well, Matzel's got to say, okay, guys, we got to quit taking silly offensive zone penalties.
Shot comes in from the outside. Toe picks the puck up behind the goal of Werner. Starts the cycle off. And Miller walks inside Thomas. Can he get a shot away? He can. He scores. Oh, he walks out of the corner, Miller. He took Thomas with him, and he shoots and scores. The Cardiff Devils lead 2-1. Miller, outstanding work. Thomas let him come out of the corner, and a big smile on his face. What a great start for the Devils. As in the first period, they've scored early in the second.
This guy takes the puck better than anyone in the league, and right there he just undresses Mark Thomas, walks right out. He does, look at this, he beats him, and he takes the puck right to the net, and a hard shot right along the ice, right in. Great goal, great individual effort. Well, hey, listen, he did it all himself. Won the puck battle in the corner, beat Thomas, took the puck to the net. Great shot. And
who was standing right in front of Andrew Werner? Brad Voth again.
Yeah, you know, they know that if somebody takes the puck to the net, somebody's got to get there. And what would they also do if that third guy is high?
Have you got a pin on you? Because you could drop it here right now and you could hear it, because it's taken all the energy out of the Sheffield Arena. And the Cardiff Devils lead, and Scroy and Voth having a little bit of a chat there. There's no way I can see Voth scrapping Scroy. Scroy's just in Voth's ear right now, but I can't see it happening. Can you see it happening, Rick?
No, right now, Brad Voth, think all the momentum's on Cardiff's side, so why do you want to fight? You know, if Scroy happens to win, momentum Sheffield. Voth will say, forget it, kid, you know what, we're not fighting.
And now Andy Carson comes and stands in between them. We'll get your name on the credits, Andy, but just let the game play. These two ain't going to fight. He's not going to fight, and look at Voth and Scroy still eyeball to eyeball, but Brad Voth's been there, done it. We saw this in Nottingham where a couple of the Panthers players went after Voth in the Challenge Cup final. There is Scroy. That's what Scroy, that's the way to get at Brad Voth, scoring a goal. But Brad Voth is too disciplined. He wants to make the final four. Here's Dowd. Le Guy and Voth in the... And Le Guy gets a stick high up on Voth.
Brad Voth is very disciplined. When it's time for him to be disciplined, he's one of the most disciplined players in the league. And right now, he's not going to take a silly penalty. He's going to keep the stick down. He's going to pay the price for them to get to the Final Four.
That's exactly what he did in the Challenge Cup as well, didn't he, to give his team a chance in the final.
Well, of course they did, because guys are running at him. And I think right now we got
too many men on the ice. Called by the referee. Cardiff with 6 players out, giving the Sheffield Steelers an early power play in this second period. There's Stevie Lyle, who'll be going away with GB, I am sure, to the World Championships in Slovenia.
Bad penalty to take. Right now, you've just scored a goal. You got all the momentum again. Sheffield's kind of coming unfocused, and you take a silly too many men on the ice. The G got to do a better job on the bench than that.
There's Scroy, there's the Ben Davies, who'll be serving the penalty for the Cardiff Devils. But the Cardiff Devils will have a chance to clear, but Sheffield get the puck back with Dowd. Back out to Jeff Le Guy. One-timer from Zion, takes a shot, doesn't get through to Lyle, and Cardiff clear 200 feet. Le Guy comes back behind the goal of Werner. Le Tulip kind of mirrors Joe Talbot. And here comes Le Guy, red line, hammers in, big rebound given up by Lyle, but Hartwig collects and sends it again. 200 feet down towards Andrew Werner's goal. Werner, who plays the puck well, just paddles one out to Le Guy. Put Le Guy in a bit of trouble there. Zion, Le Guy. And the Sheffield Steelers will break out with Joe Talbot, who hits the red line and gives the puck back quickly to Doug Shepherd. Shepherd sends it in deep. Big hit comes in from Hartwig on Talbot. Dowd's looking for the loose puck. And they've taken Scroy off the big power play unit and replaced him with Robert Dowd.
I don't understand that, but right now I guess they figure that they need puck movement and they want some, extra skill out there. And right now, they got Scroy back out there for some net presence on the next unit.
67 seconds left, and the second unit out on the ice for the Sheffield Steelers. We'll see Jonathan Phillips and a Bauer with Scroy. There is Jared Adams, a former fan favourite team in Sheffield, where he was a part of a couple of championship winning teams under Mike Blaisdell. Still power play time. Lyle comes from behind his goal, but the puck ricochets out in front. Bassick and Phillips battling hard, but the goal scorer Miller will chip out, but he can't clear his own. Sheffield send it straight back in again, and Lyle denies. Puck rimmed all the way around the boards, but only as far as Bassick. To Habauer with 40 seconds left. Here's Habauer, top of the circle. Fires one through traffic into the glove, though, of Stevie Lyle. Passive again in front of Lyle, though.
Yeah, they got the end up with the player there. Before that, Cardiff Devils had 3 or 4 chances to get the puck out. And finally, they turned it over. And right here, they got one guy there. But you got to start swinging your stick. You got to start waving it up and down. You got to make something happen.
Still the power play for the Sheffield Steelers with a Bauer in the circle. 37 seconds left. Good kill so far for the Cardiff Devils. Another infringement, another stoppage in play.
These linesmen having a tough time today. We'll just get in there, get them lined up, and drop the puck.
Face-off win by Habauer. The Tulip comes straight out. It's Michel, so he comes straight out. And here is Tyler Michel. Only clears to the red line, and Dagenet, who gives it back to Bassick, back to Dagenet, and Dagenet will come forward on the right-hand side and will cross-ice dump. Phillips does a good job, Jonathan Phillips, the Steelers captain. But so does Hartwig, who forces back out to Bassick. Bassick takes a shot, got a little bit of a ricochet before it got past Stevie Lyle, and the Cardiff Devils clear, only as far as Dagenet. 5 seconds, his power play is going to be over now, and the Cardiff Devils back to full strength, and they come with Smith, who shoots and scores as the Cardiff Devils get back to full strength. Mark Smith goes end to end, and he just sinks a dagger into the heart of the Sheffield Steelers. 3-1. The Devils lead the Sheffield Steelers. Mark Smith has pretty much guaranteed the Cardiff Devils a place in the Final Four.
Yeah, you don't want, if you want to give a guy a breakaway, it's not Mark Smith because he doesn't miss. Right here, just a hard, low shot, stick side. You know what? Werner ain't going to stop that one in a million years.
Mark Smith shoots and scores. His second power play goal of this series. Scored a 5-on-3 power play goal in the first leg to make it 2-1 to the Devils. He's made it 3-1 to the Devils in the second leg. So you're on the bench at the Sheffield Steelers coach. Your season pretty much is down the pan right now. You've got to do something dramatic here to just try and make a statement and try and change something up. Give me an idea. Give me a suggestion.
Well, you got to run the goalie. It ain't in the rules. But you want to make a statement, you want something to happen, have someone go hard to the net.
Well, Sheffield chip in down the left-hand side. Here comes Jason Hewitt. The 217s, Richardson and Hewitt. And Hewitt tries to finish on Babir, but Babir did enough to get it back into the neutral zone. 4 minutes gone, and those 4 minutes at the start of the second period have put the Sheffield Steelers in no end of trouble, but here's a chance. Bollebrook leaves it. Oh, and a shot comes from Zion that hits the stick of Jarvis. Still with Zion.
They must have been reading my mind because they just ran Stevie Lyle over and knocked him 8 feet out of the net.
Back come the Devils down the right-hand side, and it's Smith again into the blocker of Werner. Gives up the rebound, and it's Jarvis who sends it back in again. The Sheffield Steelers collect deep in their own defensive zone with Hewitt, who gives a puck to Legui. Still with Legui. Back to the top, and Talbot. Dagenet. Then Hewitt helps it on its way, but Hewitt's pass to Legui was a poor one, and Both does just what he needs to do, just chip out. Cardiff look comfortable. They lead 3-1 in the Sheffield Arena, second leg. The winner of this takes on the Coventry Blaze or the Hull Stingrays in the afternoon semi-final at Nottingham on Saturday. 2-on-1, the Cardiff Devils come. Could be 3, Xfinity. And Miller joined the race pretty quickly. Jonathan Phillips back behind his own goal to Werner. And the Sheffield Steelers struggling to get out of their own defensive zone right now.
Yeah, right now all the Cardiff Devils are sending one guy and they just cycling. He's not making contact. He's just keeping his feet moving, and then they're just forcing the puck up the zone, and one of the Cardiff Devils is closing down and giving them nothing.
Chance here for Tyler Michelle. Dagenet goes and mirrors him. Bassett. The Sheffield Steelers at the moment, man out in front, shoots and scores. Game over. Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis has just left the building. The Sheffield Steelers again had time to clear their zone. They didn't do so. And the Cardiff Devils, well, Christmas has come twice this year. They lead 4-1.
Wow, just a horrible decision by Scott Bassett right here. They're forechecking one guy, so you got all kinds of time to make a decision right here. Look at this one, and he turns the puck over, passes it. Oh, that's a Christmas. That's a gift right there. Hill keeps his feet moving. And finally, he's giving the puck, and he passes out front and slams it home.
Well, Tyler Michelle stood out there, all in front, agoraphobia. Nobody anywhere close to him. Scott Bassett will certainly want that one back. Phil Hill on the Sheffield Steeler, of course a former Sheffield Steeler now with the Cardiff Devils. Here's Richardson. And the Cardiff Devils are just having some great fun. Sheffield are going in the penalty box again. It's a delayed penalty. Werner makes one save, makes a second save. The Sheffield Steelers are in tatters right now, Rick.
No, but they're throwing the towel in. They're not even moving anymore. No one's moving their feet. There's no communication. They're just letting Cardiff just do whatever they want. Pass, shoot, go to the net right here. Everyone's just standing. Everyone's a passenger right now.
Tripping minor on Kevin Bollebrook. He's an option to David Matzos just to call a timeout here and get his troops together and say, for heaven's sake, you've got 33 minutes to try and make a statement here. Don't leave this club as, you know, as the most unsuccessful Steelers team. Make a statement, come on.
I was just going through my mind, you know, maybe he should call a timeout right now, refocus, get the guys, you know, back on track, slow down the Cardiff Devils. And they're not really working that hard. They're just Sheffield's just making silly mistakes all over the ice.
Miller, Smith, Michelle. 6-3, 7-3, 8-3 on aggregate. All in 6 minutes at the start of this second period. And here they come on the power play. Zion will clear 200 feet all the way down as Lyle leaves his goal. We talk about the Cardiff Devils, who look like they're going to move forward into the semi-finals. And we talk about that afternoon semi-final, Rick, and it's key to get the afternoon semi-final, isn't it? If you do make it through to the final, you get that extra rest time.
Oh, it's very important. You know, your turnaround time is less than the second game, and you know, talking to Adams, he liked the matchup with if he could get through against Cardiff.
Against Coventry.
Against Coventry,
yeah.
He says, you know, they're pretty well beat up, and he says they're healthy and fresh.
Ben Morgan getting a shift on the Sheffield Steelers defence, and he moves the puck forward quickly. He's killing penalty, Morgan. And this is his first shift of the playoffs. Didn't get a shift in Cardiff. But David Matsos perhaps saying, hold on a second, the big guns haven't played, so I might as well throw my kids out there and see if they show me something.
That's right. His big guns have fired blanks tonight, so you might as well put the young kid out and let him have some ice time.
Rabea, he's mirrored down by Zion. Chance out in front. Stunning stop by Andrew Werner. Just got his pad to it as well. And again, Cardiff going to the net on the power play.
Yeah, once again, they win the race to the puck, and then all of a sudden...
About short-handed, takes a shot off the blocker of Lyle. Sorry.
Yeah, and you know what? They just go to the net and they throw it out front, and he's left all alone. And Werner had to make a great save.
The Cardiff Devils, as Legui finishes on Tyler Michel. What a great season he's had, Michel. Here comes Toe, and straight out of the penalty box comes Kevin Bollebrook, and almost runs him over. Michel gets the puck out to the left-hand side, shot from Phil Hill, and saved by Andrew Werner.
And Tyler Michel he passes the puck, he gets it wide, and he goes straight to the net. Shot, rebound. You know, something's going to happen, and of course, they start right here. Look at this. Both left all alone. Got to lift the stick. You can't stand there. Right here. Bear wins the race, throws it out to Both, and a great save by Werner.
Just under 8 to go then in the second period, with the Cardiff Devils leading the Steelers by 4-1. That's 8-3. Here's Smith again. Werner denies. Oh, big hit from Smith, and now Legui comes in on Smith. I don't think Legui's going to be fighting, but Hewitt took a hit there from Smith. Scroy is out there. And a punch to the back of the head of Brabere, and now to Jarvis. And Scroy is out there looking at Smith. But don't talk, do it.
Well, I think at the end of the day, you know, Smith's not a dirty player by any means. Right there, he goes in a scoring chance. He walks right around again, and he just, you know, they kind of just bang, and he pushes him, and he falls in hard to the boards. But hey, listen, it wasn't a dirty hit. It was just shoved him.
Scroy is now challenging the Cardiff Devils bench.
Kind of late for that.
Just a bit.
You know, the barn doors have been wide open. All the cows and the horses ran away.
2+10 against Mark Smith for a checking from behind penalty. So the Sheffield Steelers will go on a 2-minute power play, but they trail 4-1. They got to hit 5 goals in 27.5 minutes to take this game to overtime. It's be a hell of a commentary for the next 27 minutes if that happens, Rick.
Well, they give us something to talk about right now. Hey, listen, they got a chance here in the power play. Score 1.
Well, it's all Cardiff Devils. The Sheffield Steelers are on the power play right now, but they trail 4-1. They've got to get. Can they get back in this game?
Well,
can it be miracle on the ice too? Zion leaves it for Dowd. Top of the circle, takes a shot, goes right into the knee of Romfo. Romfo gets up. Good character by Romfo. Look at him. He's in absolute agony, and he's still trying to get from side to side. Showing good character. Talbot gets the puck in low for Dowd. 1 shot, 2 shots, saved by Lyle. Romfo again goes down.
That's paying the price. He wants to go. He wants to play Nottingham next weekend.
He does indeed, Romfo. Good work from him. 7 minutes left. 40 seconds gone on the power play. Still with the Sheffield Steelers. Zion can't control it. Zion gets taken down. Is there going to be a chance of a breakaway? A slash from Zion. But here's Latulip. Latulip's got a 2-on-1. Great chance. Super save by Andrew Werner on Phil Hill. Phil Hill, to me, looked like he got the beating of Werner then. Werner just made that final save.
Yeah, he did a great job of going around him, and Werner got himself back out of the net to cut the angle down. And Phil Hill did a great thing. He didn't waste it. He was killing penalties. He's going to take it to the corner. And
Cardiff are going into the penalty box a little bit more as soon as they touch the puck, which they've just done. And we've now got a 5-on-3 power play to the Sheffield Steelers. Andy Carson calls a penalty on Hartwick. Hooking minor.
Well, if they wanted a chance to get back in this game, well, they got 44 seconds of 5-on-3. Yeah, you can get one or two right here. Hey, right back in it.
6:23 to go. Let's do the math. 6:23 to go. 44 seconds on the 5-on-3, and then 1 minute and 16 seconds on a 5-on-4. So a hooking minor. It's against Jarvis. But here's that chance for Hill. And a 5-on-3 power play. Le Guy, Zion. 5 white shirts, 3 red. Zion and Talbot move it early. 33 seconds, shot, goal! Joey Talbot shoots and scores. A 5-on-3 power play goal. Game on, it's 4-2, which means on aggregate, it's 8-4.
Well, you know what? You got to start with one before you get 2 and 3. And that's just a great patience right there. That's the guy they wanted to shoot the puck. They passed it around. They got him tight in, and he just lets got cannon go right here. Top shelf. You know, that Stevie Lyle, I think, was getting out of the way. That one was hard.
First power play goal for Joey Talbot. And they rotated it well, and yeah, like you say, Lyle had no chance.
Pulled the trigger, and that was a rocket up top. And right now, okay, another minute 47 to try to get another one.
So still power play time for the Sheffield Steelers. We put possession in the offensive zone from Talbot. Zion keeps the puck in, throws one up Lyle. He never saw it. There's a chance down by the far side of him, and the Sheffield Steelers down has lost his stick, and a penalty coming in against Cardiff. The Devils are going on another 5-on-3. Penalty kill for Sheffield Steelers, an interference goal. It's never dull with Andy Carson in charge, is it?
No, right now he's calling a slashing penalty. And right there, Jonathan Zion does a great job. He just throws the puck to the net, and Lyle doesn't see it, and there's a rebound and a scramble and now a penalty.
Well, 5-on-3 power play now for 1 minute and 29 seconds. And the Cardiff Devils have opened the door for the Sheffield Steelers. Will the Sheffield Steelers try and ease it open, or they kick it down?
They better kick it down and score here. And right now, Cardiff's got Romfo and Hardwick, their defense partners, in the penalty box. So that leaves them Richardson and Jarvis. And that's it for defensemen.
Well, if Sheffield can sneak a couple of power play goals here, what a third period we have. Something that perhaps we didn't expect. Zion. Is it going to be the same as before with Le Guy and Zion working the top? Shepherd's just out in front. Le Guy, Zion. Talbot wants it. Talbot wants it. Talbot gets it. Not where he wants it. Zion, one-timer, shoots, just goes wide. Le Guy picks the loose puck up. Back to Zion at the top. 70 seconds on the power play. Zion man at the back door. Shepherd, Zion. Zion still got it. Latulip's lost his stick. It's not a 5-on-3. It's now like a 5-on-2.5. Bauer, 50 seconds on the 5-on-3. A change, it's still Zion, he's looking for a lane, chance! Shepherd had a great chance. Good kill from the Cardiff Devils, still with Zion. 40 seconds, back door, saved by Stevie Lyle. Loose puck in a bit of afters. But the Sheffield Steelers had their chances, they had the puck possession, but Rick just couldn't pull the trigger.
No, and unfortunately for Latulip, he breaks his stick, so he really can't do anything. And they worked it around, and they had some quality shots, but Cardiff did a great job of just keeping them to the outside. And Lyle came up with some nice saves and finally fell on the rebound.
The Sheffield keep their big guns out? Yes, they do. Talbot stays out there, Zion stays out there, and Jeff Le Guy stays out there. 36 on the 5-on-3.
And Wes Jarvis is going to have to kill this total penalty because, you know, him and Richardson were out there. Now that he's staying out there, and hopefully Richardson can get a little rest to come out and kill the rest of it.
Zion has got Shepherd just in front. Habauer goes to help out. Zion again. Zion has to move that puck, but great defensive work by the Cardiff Devils. Fabulous work, Tyler Michelle. Back out to Talbot. Talbot gives it Le Guy. To Jonathan Zion. Bauer in front, but two men in the same position. Here is Bauer. Talbot's free if they can find him, but he goes high himself. Talbot's all alone. Is the loose puck going to fall to him? No, it's not. And the 5-on-3 is over. One man returns to the ice for Cardiff, and they send the puck 200 feet, and they get a change, and Jarvis does get a break at last. Steelers with 15 seconds on the power play. They rush the puck. Take a long shot, rebound, just falls off the stick of Talbot, who was coming in from the left-hand side. Scroy's out there, Scroy and Hartwick. Scroy runs into Hartwick and shakes the glass here at the Sheffield Arena as the puck goes behind the goal of Werner, and it's with Scott Bassett. Power play is over. Great penalty kill by the Cardiff Devils. And that little wobble, that little moment, now looks like it's over for the Cardiff Devils, and they came out of it well. Here's Richardson, takes a shot covered up by Andrew Werner. Jared Adams will be glad to get back on 5-on-5.
Oh, he'd be happy right now. You know, one more goal and total momentum change. But to give them the credit, they did a great job of killing off that last 5-on-3. Lyle made some huge saves for him. Right here, just standing big, not giving him nothing. And then they get the puck down the ice.
David Matsos looks pensive, he just looks void now, doesn't he? I mean, he's tried everything, and his team haven't come up with anything for him.
Just had no answer tonight. Cardiff came out here with a good road game plan, and they were patient and took advantage of their scoring opportunities.
How frustrating is it as a coach, Rick, when you think you've done your job as the coach, you've got your team ready, you've got your team prepared, and you end up 4-2 down at home, and you're just thinking, what else can I do?
Yeah, there's nothing really you can do. It's almost, you know, if you lose, it's the last game of the season, and you know the only thing you can do is when the guys walk in your office for contract and said, well, I counted on you for a couple games at the end of the year, you didn't show up. Sorry, we're not re-signing you.
Long shot from the outside. That's from Ryan Finnerty, a guy that the Sheffield Steelers signed for 3 years. But Ryan Finnerty now with the Cardiff Devils, and he'll be back there next year. We signed a 2-year ticket, Ryan Finnerty. And in Finnerty, you're signing a winner, you're signing quality.
You're signing the guy that come the big games or the games you need to win. You know what you're going to get. You know, you don't have to. The coach can't say at the end of the game, well, he didn't give me what I wanted.
There's Voth, another guy, quality, goes through the pain barrier. And that guy in the brown suit, nobody went through the pain barrier more than him. Jared Adams. He's taking his team to the Final Four for the 3rd year running. Shot from the outside, goes past Werner's goal. With just 15 seconds remaining on this first period, a period dominated by the Cardiff Devils. 1-1 when we came into the second session. We were expecting fireworks and maybe a turnaround, but second period goals. A 3-1 second period after that 1-1 first. The period ends, the Cardiff Devils fans applaud. The Sheffield Steelers fans, to be honest, I think they're expecting the end of the year, and they're waiting for the end of the year. Goals, though, in the middle period from Miller, and then from Smith, then from Michelle, before Talbot is a 5-on-3 power play back. It's 8-4 on aggregate. Those Cardiff fans, they're going to the Final Four, I reckon. We'll be back for the 3rd period, the final period of the season at the Sheffield Arena. You gotta have a feeling it's the final period of the season for the Sheffield Steelers. Welcome back to the Sheffield Arena. It's a little bit like a morgue at the moment. The Sheffield Steelers in dire straits, 4-2 down. And how Rick Strachan does David Matsos wish he have the other man in the suit, Rod Sarich, in his lineup right now. Losing Sarich was a blow. Every team's had blows this year, but Sarich would make a difference, wouldn't he?
Well, he'd make a difference because, you know what my opinion is, he's the best defenseman in the league. And, you know, having the best defenseman in the league who has an offensive capabilities, that's good for a couple goals a weekend.
Well, the Cardiff Devils have dominated this series. 4-2. They beat the Sheffield Steelers on Saturday night down in Cardiff. But a late Jeff Le Gui goal gave the Sheffield Steelers some hope. But then the Sheffield Steelers kind of blew it in the middle session here. Quick goals from Miller, Smith and Tyler Michelle made it 8-3 on aggregate, and a 5-on-3 power play goal from Joey Talbot gave the Sheffield Steelers hope. 8-4 on aggregate. Is there hope? Or we've all seen it before, but at the moment the Cardiff Devils don't look like a team who are going to give up.
No, they're gonna make this very tough on the Sheffield Steelers. And the first 5 minutes of this period are key. If Sheffield can score, they're gonna put a little pressure on them. If they don't, Cardiff will just sit up in the neutral zone and just make it extremely hard for him to even enter the zone.
And Jared Adams knows that the Sheffield Steelers will come and give it all in the first 5 minutes, and his team talk and his preparation in the period break would have been along those lines.
Guys, stay focused, be strong, be intense. Puck comes into our zone, let's get it out, let's communicate, let's give them nothing early.
Jared Adams, the coach of the Cardiff Devils, once played for the Sheffield Steelers. Once upon a time, he was in Nottingham. The Sheffield Steelers were 5-0 down going into the third period. He scored one of the 5 goals to tie 5-5. I just wonder, or am I clutching at straws, Rick?
Clutching at straws.
Yeah. Voth lines up against Scroy. He could line up there till Christmas. It ain't going to happen, folks. It'd be a great scrap if he did, but it's not going to happen because Brad Voth has got bigger things on his mind than Mike Scroy. He's got going to the finals. And there's talk of Brad Voth leaving the Cardiff Devils at the end of this year, whether that's to another club or North America or to work for family. Lots of rumours floating around, and you know, as a great servant of the Cardiff Devils, he wants to go home as a champion.
I can't see Brad Voth playing for anyone else but the Cardiff Devils.
No. So it's probably back to North America or back to Cardiff. I hope he stays in the league. One of my favourites. I do honestly think he will seriously hurt somebody one day, but he is one of my favourites. And here's a chance for Dowd, who I just saw down by the Sheffield Steelers dressing room. He just looked distraught. You could just tell he thought his season was as good as over. And of course, Dowd only knows how to win, doesn't he? He's been to only been to 2 playoff championships, and he's won them both.
Yeah, losing isn't an option for him, and he hasn't experienced it.
Legui tries to take Hartwig around the outside. Hartwig finishes hard on Legui. No penalty called as Michel chips through into the neutral zone where it's collected by Zion. Back to Randy Dagenet. Pass to Shepherd. Legui just offside as Shepherd took the puck into the offensive zone. And we just haven't seen it from Jeff Legui tonight.
No, you can just look in his face. It's pure frustration. Nothing's happening. They're playing up tough and physical, and you know he's taking some retaliation penalties.
Face off just in front of Andrew Werner. And the Sheffield Steelers will try and force, but it's great play by Latulip, who started his British career with the Edinburgh Capitals. He's a completely different player to that one that was in Edinburgh. Had a great year in Cardiff last year, and a second year. This is his third year now with the Cardiff Devils. Kevin Bollebrook. He will be returning to Sheffield next season. Talbot, you would assume, would return to Sheffield, or at least be given the option. 30-odd goals. So Bauer, there'll be question marks over his future. Bollebrook. Puck out to Shepherd. To Zion. Zion fires one into Stevie Lyle. There's no rebound. It's pretty tame out there. And now, actually, Bollebrook decides, no, it's not time at all. We'll throw a left hand into Scott Romfo.
Yeah, it's desperate times right now. You got defensemen standing in front of the net and shooting the pucks, and you know, and then getting frustration. The old face rubbing, little shot in the head.
There's Zion, who scored the opening goal of the night for the Sheffield Steelers. Played a lot of hockey in Europe, which is perhaps where he's expected to return to next year.
Yeah, I think he's an outstanding defenseman, and you know, whatever reason, he decided not to play in Europe.
Here's another breakaway. Smith looking for his second. Shoots. Goal! Goes 5-0 on Andrew Werner. Third of the playoff, second of the night for Mark Smith. He makes it 5-2. And then he nailed what wasn't in the coffee, and he's in the coffee now. And that wraps it up for the Cardiff Devils. 5 goals to 2 on the night. 9-4 on aggregate. This was supposed to be the tight series.
Yeah, it is. And how does Mark Smith get a breakaway off a face-off? And we talked about your best players having to come to the party. Well, their best player came to the party tonight.
Yeah, we've been critical of Mark Smith for not turning up on a fair few occasions this year, but Mark Smith has certainly turned up at playoff time.
Well, I think early in the year, he wasn't skating. Maybe he was carrying some kind of injury, but he just wasn't skating like Mark Smith. And well, we've seen him skate tonight like Mark Smith, and he's dynamic.
When Smith's on his game, he's right up there with the very best, isn't he?
Well, he can be the best hockey player in his league. He's got outstanding skill and talent, and he is good in the corners. He's strong.
For the last couple of weeks, you and I, in coffee breaks and period breaks, we've talked about possible all-star teams, but we haven't discussed Mark Smith, and you should be discussing Mark Smith. He should be in that conversation if he's playing at his best.
Well, yeah, he should definitely be in the conversation, but he just hasn't had a great enough year. He hasn't been consistent enough.
The Writers Association made their all-star picks. Rick and I will tell you this time next week where they went wrong, and we'll tell you who our all-stars are. They're the all-star teams that the players really want to be in, Rick, yours and mine.
Well, of course, we're the ones who watch hockey every weekend.
Exactly. We're the ones who are right. Morgan gets the puck across to Zion, to Legui. Legui comes down the middle. 11:30 left, takes a shot. Lyle makes a save, but everything's on the outside. Everything's from a distance. The Sheffield Steelers, I'm sure inside, are giving it everything they've got right now, but it's just out of their hands. The Cardiff Devils have been just too good in this series. 4-2 at home, leading 5-2 here on the road. And I would imagine the game just can't end quick enough. I mean, as a player, you know it's 11 minutes gone. You're 9-4 down on aggregate. You just want one shift, don't you, to last the whole 11 minutes.
Yeah, you just don't want any whistles. You want this one to be over as fast as possible. You know, go shake hands, wave to the crowd, and leave. And you watch this. Here's Mark Smith. He beat him last time low stick side, and this time right through the 5-hole.
Finnerty and Le Tulip, two feisty, aggressive players who are custom built for the playoffs. Kevin Bollebrook will move the puck around quickly. Doug Shepherd. What does the future lie for Doug Shepherd, I wonder? Great servant at Basingstoke, along with Chambers and Cruikshank, you know, in the big Basingstoke connection. One-time shot comes from Miller. Hey, congratulations to, talking of the that connection down in Basingstoke, Bracknell. Mike Ellis has won a league title, the former coach of the Nottingham Panthers, and won the second division title in Italy. Won it with a few old players as well. Former Basingstoke defenseman Eric Braff on that team. And I'm trying to think...
Peter Campbell?
Peter Campbell was the other guy I was thinking of as well. And the third guy is a British guy, their third import, and I'm frantically trying to think who that was as well.
The guy who scored all the goals in Manchester, and then
Talari, Joe Talari. Penalty against the Sheffield Steelers. Robert Farmer took one in the first period. Looks like Farmer's going to take one in the third period as well. Farmer heads to the penalty box on a roughing minor. 4:36 remain in the third period. It can't end quick enough. And if Robert Farmer keeps banging his stick in that room, it'll end a little bit quicker for him.
maybe that's what he wants.
I need the warm shower.
Oh, yeah, right there. A good old punch right in the chin. And, you know, give Cardiff credit. They stayed so disciplined tonight and, you know, took advantage of when Sheffield got running around and took some silly penalties.
Ryan Finnerty in the face-off circle, the man who has won that championship twice. Is he going to win it for a third time? That'd be a hell of a record. I don't know if too many people have won the playoffs 3 times in a row.
No, and you know, 2 with one team and the next with a new team.
Don't know why the name Rick Brabant just appeared in my head then. I don't know if Brabant won it 3 times. Manchester, London, Sheffield, I'm not sure.
I know who's got more.
Go on.
Ashley Tate.
But did he win 3 on the bounce? Oh, we'll get the stat books out. We'll have all those informations for you next week. We're coming from the playoff finals in Nottingham. Rick and I will be there for the 2 semi-finals and for the final, bringing you the best of the action in next week's show. Here's Jarvis. Power play time for the Cardiff Devils, but they just want to kill the clock. Here's Le Tulip. And Dagenet will get it out to his defensive partner, Bollebrook. Joey Talbot comes short-handed down the right-hand side. Goes round Romfo. And Andrew Werner comes to the net. Is the Sheffield Steelers going to penalty?
There's a penalty on Cardiff.
Romfo?
Yeah, Romfo. Yeah,
Romfo on his way to the box. There's Joey Talbot. A final power play for him, but they'll have to play 53 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey first.
There's Romfo's a good story, you know, released by Cardiff earlier in the year, and then you know, they bring him back, and now he's going to the Final Four.
Maybe Scott Romfo, he's the man who blocked that shot earlier and went down and then got up and just showed that you have to pay the price to make the Final Four, and the Cardiff Devils have paid the price. And the faithful down in Cardiff should be proud of their team as they head to the NIC in Nottingham. Here's Brabia. Backhand play from Le Guy, finds Dagenet. Dagenet leads the charge. Dagenet tried to find Le Guy. Kevin Bollerbrook. 29 seconds on the 4-on-4. Back out to Le Guy. Talbot waits in the middle. There is Talbot, just bounces over his stick. Hartwick looking for Smith. Lyle has to come and reverse it round the glass. Talbot. As Finity comes on him, Talbot brings it down the right-hand side. Top of the circle, takes the shot. You have the feeling that's like a shot with 2 minutes to go in the season. Shall I get another one? And they do. They score. The Sheffield Steelers score. And Matt Bauer scores his first goal of the playoffs. 5-3. And something late for the Sheffield Steelers fans to cheer, if not all of them. And the Sheffield Steelers pull a goal back, but just little and late.
A little too little late. You know, it's great to score a goal, consolation goal late in the game, but you know, there's no hope for Sheffield. They're going to be out golfing this week, and you know, in a couple of weeks they can get the fishing rods out.
Of course, the thing is, when you lose the playoffs, you just want to go home as well, don't you, Rick? And the Sheffield Steelers flights won't be booked for another week because they're booked so far in advance, and teams expect to make the Final Four. And here's a chance for Le Tulip, who's going to give it back to Brabia, and they're going to have to stick around for 8 or 10 days when really they just want to go back home.
Oh, I definitely is going to want to go home, but when those tickets were booked, they were expected to be at the Nottingham, the NIC for the Final Four, and they're going to have to stick it out here and, you know, reflect.
Reflect indeed, as Robert Dowd shoots just wide. Smith gives the puck to Brabia, who's just offside. Final 2 minutes of this game, final 2 minutes of the Sheffield Steelers season. Big Max is going to the NIC in Nottingham. Will you be there to watch him? You should, you know. If you've never been to the Final Four, if you've never been to the playoff championships, it's a fantastic hockey experience. 6,500 and supporters from not just the 8 teams, but from teams from all over the country and all over leagues.
It is. It's hockey fans from all over, you know, all over the country, coming together and having a great time. And it's more than hockey. It's a spectacle.
I was speaking to Andy Costigan of the Manchester Phoenix. I think he's saying there's 50 or 60 fans from Manchester in the EPL. They're going. There's fans from Guildford going, you know, in the EPL. So a lot of fans from everywhere. Join the Elite League fans. Great times.
No, yeah, you're right. It's just not Elite League fans. It's hockey fans from all over the country, and you're going to get them from Ireland and Scotland and Wales. It's a fantastic atmosphere.
This time next year, of course, will be fans from the Braehead clan. So if you're watching in Glasgow, keep your eyes on your local press for some great hockey action coming to that fantastic facility in Glasgow. And we're all looking forward to our times in Braehead next season. The Cardiff Devils fans, they stand, they applaud, they cheer. 68 seconds remain as Hartwick chips it in deep. The Cardiff Devils fans making all the noise. They know they've got at least one more game, possibly 2, left in their hockey season. The Sheffield Steelers fans, as Bollerbrook goes offside, know that their series is over. And there's no better feeling if you're a hockey fan to know you're going to the finals. That's the biggest thing for the Sheffield fans. They know they've booked their tickets, their team ain't going. The Cardiff fans know their team are playing in the afternoon game.
Oh, their fans definitely know they're going on Saturday. We know the Sheffield fans will not be rooting for Nottingham on Saturday.
That's right. Everybody will be cheering on the Cardiff Devils on Saturday. There'll be, especially Ryan Finity in the Cardiff Devils lineup. The Steelers fans will surely go with him.
Yeah, and then in the afternoon game, who are they gonna root for?
Well,
Belfast?
well, of course, it's going to be Coventry or Cardiff, isn't it? Coventry Hull or Cardiff.
Yeah.
So I would imagine the Sheffield fans will cheer on the Cardiff Devils there. And of course, the Sheffield fans only cheer 2 teams, Sheffield and anybody who's playing Nottingham. So, I mean, that's always going to be an interesting bout. So they'll be with the Belfast Giants, I would have thought, if they can get past their series with Newcastle. Well, 45 seconds left. You've got to put your hands together and you've got to congratulate Jared Adams for a fine job with the Cardiff Devils. Sheffield are pressing, but it's all too little too late as Dagenet Throws one at the net in probably his final shift as a Sheffield Steeler. Well, Dagenais get on the score sheet. Doesn't look that way. But you can't congratulate the Cardiff Devils enough, can you, Vic? Because everybody in hockey thought this was going to be the closest of the 4 series, and the Cardiff Devils have dominated.
They have dominated, and it's funny because they've had trouble all year winning on the road and scoring goals on the road. And the game where they needed to come up big, they did.
They did indeed. Final shots, final save comes from Joe Talbot. 5 goals to 3. The Cardiff Devils have beaten the Sheffield Steelers with third period goals from Smith, his second. They high-five on the bench. Congratulations, Gerard Adams. About ball one back for the Sheffield Steelers. But the celebration starts. The Cardiff Devils are the first team through to the final 4. Who's going to join them? Will it be Coventry and Hull? We'll find out after the break. Will it be Belfast or Newcastle? Will it be Nottingham or Edinburgh? Join us. We'll be previewing the final 4. The Vothmeister, big bad Brad Voth, is going to be at the final 4. Make sure you are too. Congratulations to the Cardiff Devils. They made it through to the final 4, courtesy of a first period goal from Ryan Finnerty. A 3-goal advantage to the Devils on aggregate. Zion brought one back for the Sheffield Steelers, 1-1 at the end of the first period. But then Miller, Andres Thomas, shoots and scores to make it 2-1 on the night at the start of the second period. Smith, breakaway, beats Andrew Werner, makes it 3-1. That's 7-3 on aggregate. 3 quick goals to the Cardiff Devils at the start of the second period. The 4-1 goal came from Tyler Michel. Steelers had a little bit of respite. 5-on-3 power play strike by Joe Talbot. 8-4 on aggregate. Smith had his second breakaway. Goes 5-0 on Werner. That made it 5-2. And then Matt Habauer for the Sheffield Steelers pulled the goal back. Even had the audacity to celebrate the goal as well. 8 goals. Well, 5 goals to 3 was the final scoreline, 9-5 on aggregate. The Sheffield Steelers and the Cardiff Devils were supposed to be the closest of the 4 quarter-final series, but Rick Strack and the Cardiff Devils dominated it from the first period of the first game to the last period of the last game, and thoroughly deserve their place. And we got it wrong. The Cardiff Devils wasn't going to be an upset. We perhaps had the Sheffield Steelers to tip this one.
Yeah, it was so close to call at the beginning, but the Cardiff Devils went out tonight and executed road hockey perfection. They were disciplined, they were hungry, they scored on their opportunities, and they deserve to go to the final.
They played like a playoff team to me. They played like they wanted it more, and they won those 50-50 battles. They won the battles in the corner. They blocked shots. I go back to Ronfo, in that penalty kill, taking shots. They just played playoff hockey, and the Sheffield Steelers did the same as they've done since September. They went through the motions.
Yeah, they blocked shots. They paid the price, and that's the words we use as coaches. Pay the price to win, and they did. They blocked shots. They took punches in the nose. They didn't retaliate. Their stars showed up and came to the party and dominated.
Last word of the season on the Sheffield Steelers. It's been a truly dreadful year for David Matsos's team. They haven't performed since September, and I would imagine he'll be glad to see them back on a plane.
Oh, he'll be glad this is over, because he'll be living a nightmare over and over. And you know what? They just weren't good enough to go through.
But Gerard Adams and his Cardiff Devils team, they are good enough not only to make the Final Four, but this is a Cardiff Devils team that can go on and win it.
They are good enough. They have enough talent. They're well balanced. They got 6 or 7 guys who can score. Their goaltending's good enough. Their defense, they play as a good unit. There's no reason they can't go all the way.
Our one to watch tonight was Ryan Finnerty, wasn't he, folks? And Finnerty's going to the playoff finals for a 3rd year. He could end up lifting the championship for a 3rd time.
Well, that's why they got him here. He knows what it takes to win, and he has that experience, and he'll bring it into the dressing room and take it onto the ice.
Okay, as you can imagine, folks, 2 very different coaches we spoke to at the end of the game. A very dejected David Matsos, but a very pleased Gerard Adams. Gee, many congratulations. A thoroughly well-deserved 2-legged victory.
Yeah, I thought that was our best overall team performance tonight. I thought our defensemen were tremendous. You can see guys blocking shots and making all the simple right plays, and that's playoff hockey. And I think the biggest thing tonight was our discipline, and very proud of all the players.
You hear the old saying, don't you? You've got to pay the price to make the Final Four and then to go on and win it. And, I take Ronfo just down behind where you're standing now. He blocked a shot in the second period, killing a penalty. Then he blocks a second shot. All your guys did what it took.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. You can see the communication, hear the communication on the bench. Guys recognize that, and they actually fed off that tonight. And when, you know, a positive thing gets rolling in this league, you will come up on top.
When Sheffield got it back to 1-1, it gave them a bit of momentum, but then that start you had in the second period, it was just a hammer blow, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but I think, you know, there's 2 key points in the game. I think Wes Jarvis blocked that shot for an open net, and we went down and scored very quickly after that. That was a key one, and then we killed off that second 5-on-3, and I think that's what sealed the game for us.
How do you fancy the Coventry Blaze next Saturday afternoon? How do you think you two teams will fare?
You know, I can't wait to get going against them. We had a little incident with them earlier in the year with Brad Cookshank and Derek Campbell. And, you know, we got some redemption against them, maybe not in the physical department, but just the overall play. So we can't wait to line up against them.
This Cardiff Devils team can go and win it, can't they? You know, Stevie Law can back this team to a championship. We Infinity and Vuff can lead the team. You know, you have won the championship before, you can go and do it again.
Yeah, it's a very nice, quiet confidence right now amongst our guys. And, you know, it's down to the players. It's not me anymore. I've put everything in place. And it's good to see the guys believing in themselves and believing in each other.
Okay, well, many congratulations and good luck next weekend.
Thank you.
Dave, always awkward when the season is over, but your feelings post-game?
Well, I think disappointed. You know, I guess, for better lack of words, have been spoiled up this way and haven't had this hollow feeling, you know, especially going into the Final Four weekend for a few years now. So, but let's be honest. I mean, this club has been mediocre at best for the course of the season. You know, fifth place club. You know, and the top 4 teams are in it.
Yeah. Where did he go wrong this series against the Cardiff Devils? Because for 6 periods they were just better.
They were better, but we just played a high-risk game. And had we got to the Final Four by squeaking something out here, I mean, we wouldn't have got further than warm-up, you know, because that weekend is a tight weekend. We all know that. We've been there. We know what brand of hockey it is. I mean, it's 2-1 scores and 2-0 scores or whatever it is. And, you know, we just weren't committed to do that or play that type of hockey game. And, you know, in the end, the better team won. Yeah,
about 200 feet away from here is your office. I would imagine there's a clean piece of paper, and I would imagine you've going to really change house here and clean house and just pretty much start again for next season.
Well, it started out clean, and now it's starting to fill up. I mean, we're working hard in the office, and we have been since February because, I mean, let's be honest, it's, like I said, the season hasn't been good for a while, and, you know, sometimes the rebuilding begins early, very early, and, you know, in this particular year, it started even as early back as February, so, you know, things are starting to happen now, and I'm looking to hit the reset button and, you know, build bigger and greater here for next year.
Well, let's take a look at the scores from elsewhere around the league in the playoffs, and the Nottingham Panthers 5-0 over the Edinburgh Capitals. That was more than enough, a 9-4 aggregate score there, so the Panthers go through. The Newcastle Vipers, they huffed and they puffed, but they couldn't blow down the Belfast Giants. Belfast with a 6-2 victory. Remember, they won 4-1 last night, so 10-3 advantage for the Belfast Giants. Of course, the game between the Coventry Blaze and the Hull Stingrays, 2-1 last night and 4-1 here on Sunday night for the Coventry Blaze. They're going through as well. And then the Cardiff Devils over the Sheffield Steelers. And that means the semi-finals look like this, folks. On Saturday afternoon, it's going to be the Coventry Blaze taking on the Cardiff Devils. And then in the evening, the Arena clubs battle it out, the Belfast Giants and the Nottingham Panthers. And we were just saying, as we were listening to those interviews, 2 great semi-finals. And they're the semi-finals you'd want. You know, that Cardiff-Coventry series, a battle, and then the 2 Arena clubs going for it in the evening.
2 great matchups. Both teams match up well for each other. Cardiff and Coventry got a huge rivalry. You know, the coach talked about, you know, the incidents that happened late in the season, and you know, the Cardiff Devils are playing so well right now. The Coventry Blaze are beat up, you know, down the stretch, and then you got Nottingham, Belfast, 2 super talented, exciting teams.
It took 27 weeks, folks, but Rick and I did get it wrong. We said the Final Four wouldn't be 1, 2, 3, 4. We were wrong. And I suppose you don't finish first, second, third, fourth for no reason. These are the 4 best teams, aren't they? And they've proved it this weekend because really 5, 6, 7 and 8 just couldn't compete.
No, you know, all the score lines showed that there was a huge gap between the top 4 and the bottom 4, and the 4 top teams for the first time in a long time are going through to the final. Okay,
let's take a little bit of the Strachan prediction. Let's take that semi-final between the Cardiff Devils and the Coventry Blaze. Where's your money?
right now, I'm going to lean towards Cardiff just because Coventry's so beat up and they expanded so much energy and played guys hurt down the stretch.
Okay, and then in the evening, the Belfast Giants and the Nottingham Panthers. Nottingham, of course, on home soil.
I like the Belfast Giants, but because Nottingham's at home, I'm going to pick the Nottingham Panthers.
The Belfast Giants, folks, is a weird one. They're actually going to be the home team for that evening semi-final. So Steve Thornton will have like the choice of benches, choice of dressing rooms. Do you just try and play with the minds of the Nottingham Panthers and say, I want the Nottingham Panthers dressing room, or do you just use the one you've used all year?
I think you use the one you've used all year. There's no reason giving a team ammunition to want to beat you. Just let them stay in their own comfort zone. The dressing rooms aren't that much different, so you might just, instead of getting them all riled up and really wanting to, some extra incentive to beat you, just let them lie down.
So then you've got the Cardiff Devils and the Nottingham Panthers on Sunday in the final, and who's your money on?
Oh, the Nottingham Panthers. They're at home and they're playing well.
Well, I'll tell you what, we don't know, folks, who are going to be in the final of the playoffs, but you're going to be able to see it live and exclusive on Sky Sports 2. Yes, we're live from the National Ice Centre in Nottingham, 4 o'clock on Sky Sports 2, the final of the 2010 Playoff Championships. And, folks, we can't wait to be bringing you Elite League hockey at its very best live. Nick Rothwell's going to be back joining us, and a team of Elite League coaches joining Rick and I. And the playoff finals, if you haven't already booked your ticket, folks, go to the NIC because it's a great weekend, isn't it, Rick?
It is a fantastic facility. It's a fantastic product. And the atmosphere is unbelievable.
It is indeed, Rick. Thank you very much again. Folks, we're all off to the NIC. We hope to see you there. Come and say hi to us. Be kind to us. Be gentle to us. We're nice guys, really. And we'll be joining the Coventry Blaze, the Nottingham Panthers, the Belfast Giants, and Jared Adams and his Cardiff Devils. They were just too strong. They were just too good for the Sheffield Steelers. It's rebuilding there. But Jared Adams might just be going on to win another championship. We'll see you at the NIC. Good night.